What if I told you that the actual works that gets you moving and climbing a corporate career ladder is not actually the code, but it's all the invisible work you do that's undocumented, not on your tickets, and is actually showing your soft skills up? Hi, I'm Nayab. I'm a junior developer who's been working in corporate for 5 years and as an engineer for 2. And in this video, I'll be walking you through why all the soft skills and all the invisible work you're doing, backed with research, why it matters and how it can get you climbing up the career ladder faster than ever before. So welcome, let's get into it. So if we go back to square one, what even is invisible work? Because no one's ever taught about this in uni. You don't get told that there's invisible work that you should be doing or that you have to do sometimes. So invisible work is all the undocumented work. It's things that are the soft skills that you happen to do without even noticing, like writing the documentation, clearing up the little bugs, mentoring the juniors that come in, working with the seniors and rubber ducking. All of this invisible work. Actually, within the team, everyone seems to notice it because I very openly notice everyone's hard work, and especially the invisible work some of the developers do. But when you're asking for a promotion, all of this means that as an engineer, you need to promote yourself through all this evidence that you're building behind the scenes. You won't be able to refer to a Jira board and point at it and say, look, I did this and hence I deserve a promotion. And your manager won't be able to point to it either, but they all recognize it. I was scrolling through LinkedIn the other day and I came across an interesting stat that says that the employees who had soft skills and hard skill combined got 8% of the promotions, but employees who had a large amount of soft skills had 11% more promotions. Who would have thought that soft skills are actually important? Although on this channel, this is all that we talk about. And I love talking about the impact of soft skills and how they've got me all the way here in my career. They've always had a greater impact than the technical skills. But nevertheless, we're actually going to get into how you can implement the soft skills and what soft skills you should be implementing as an engineer. So I'll start with my favorite of the 5 categories of how you can have subtle influence in your organization, and that is sharing knowledge and documentation. I personally love making documentation and writing technical notes, but as an engineer, it's the easiest thing you can do. Every time you finish a ticket, every time you've spoken to someone about a problem or a bug that keeps reoccurring within your systems, you can build documentation on this and people will refer to it back and forth and talk to you about it as well. It makes you someone who people can refer to about a system. If you've written documentation for other people, they can talk to you about it. And when they see your name on the Confluence page, they'll think that, oh yes, this person has expertise on that and they can come to you. In my second week of joining, I'd already written 3 pieces of documentation, and 3 weeks after me, juniors had joined and they could refer to me about setting up a certain system. And it's shocking to me because this system was a repeated thing that everyone needed to set up and there was no documentation on it. But everyone was really happy that the documentation existed and I created it. It creates that visibility as a junior as well. And even as a senior engineer, that's how you're going to build visibility. As a senior, you have so much more expertise that you can share with people, and all that hidden knowledge in the back of your mind, write it down, share that knowledge, mentor someone, or even in a stand-up, just mention, I wrote this extra piece of documentation, does someone want to check it out, give me feedback on it. It's going to build this visibility for yourself. As always on this channel, we're big about the practical tips. So this week, make it a point for yourself to write down 1 piece of documentation about something that you've worked on or something that you have knowledge on, and make sure to share it in your team's chat and share it with whoever you're working with. On to number 2 of our invisible work is mentoring and helping others out. And I'm someone who's very, very grateful for all the mentorship I've received. And I don't think I'd be even half as good of an engineer that I consider myself to be had I not had the mentorship that the seniors in my team have given me. They're people who are very open to helping others. If you're a senior watching this, help out the juniors alongside you, or help out the engineers that you're working with, even if they don't need your help or they don't openly ask for it. Just ask to rubber duck with you. And if you're wondering what rubber ducking is, it's just clashing your heads together and working on an idea or problem that comes up together. And if you're a junior, be open to mentorship. That's the best way to connect with other people, and that's invisible work that you're doing upward. And when you learn what a good mentor is and who can mentor well, you can pick up those skills, document what you're learning from them. And actually, if you at some point you can say, I'm thankful for doing this ticket with the help of developer X who's helped me do it. It gives them that visibility as well. It shows your gratitude and it brings the team together. It shows that their invisible work is actually being recognized by someone, and it brings it out into a brighter light, especially on your stand-ups, and your manager will see it and hopefully they can get a promotion and a raise as a result of that. And I really want to advocate for helping others out in whichever way you can. It can be through writing documentation, as we've said, or maybe if you're in office and you're all working together, just go get them a coffee or make them a cup of tea. Grab them some extra water so they can keep working. Make it a place you want to work. I'm an advocate for make it where you want to work and everyone else will want to be around you as well. So as for the practical tip on point B, what we can do is actually pick 1 person to mentor or help out this week and see if you can actually help someone out on a ticket that they've been stuck on for a long time. Maybe they've been working on it and they just can't get to an idea. Or you can just talk to someone about what they're working on and see if you can contribute to them in any way. The third invisible work, which I see a lot of engineers on my team actually doing, involves people and process streamlining. And my team lead, he's absolutely fantastic at this, and he's really good at spotting bottlenecks and things that are hindering the development cycle. And he's also really good at streamlining them. And I think this is invisible work which keeps getting him recognition over and over again. Well-deserved recognition. And if I had a mind like his, I would not be a junior developer. He is absolutely fantastic. And so if you as a developer can see things that are causing issues, like for example, a deployment is manual and it's taking like 30 minutes to do, the real reason will be there is probably some code there, 2 lines need removing, and it will be 5 minutes. Spotting things like that, they might take a bit longer as a junior. I find it very difficult to remove code, and I'm not very confident in doing that either, nor am I in a position to be taking code out of legacy code bases. But when you're a senior or you have more experience with these code bases and you know what's going in and out, you've built a certain level of expertise, what you can actually do is start suggesting that things can be changed. And you have the authority to do that as well, because you're trying to make the organization a better place and the code base is smoother as well. You want to tell people that we can actually streamline this if we're not going to person X to come across this. So you can just talk directly to me. You don't have to go through my team leader to speak to me. And that streamlining a process is going to speed up the communication. From day one, my organization just let me take ownership of the projects that I was given. And I'm so grateful for that, because I can work end to end on projects. And it all works really smoothly because I'm just in charge of it. I just CC in my manager or my product owner, and they're aware of the work I'm doing, but I still get to do it as quickly as I can, have complete ownership of it, and do it in my own way. And that leads to my personal growth as well, but it allows everything to flow so smoothly. No one has to be in charge of me and have to take responsibility for every little thing I do, and nor do I have to get approval for those things. So if you can spot bottlenecks as an engineer, whether you're a junior or a senior, try streamlining them yourself. Maybe you can ask your manager, let me take on this project. I'll just do it and I'll ask you for help when I need it. I think managers love that we are willing to take ownership and just take some responsibility off their shoulders. So be open to taking ownership of things. And if you have taken ownership, comment down below how you take ownership and how you feel open to taking on more responsibility than you actually feel qualified for. I think the imposter syndrome definitely exists between all of us developers, because there's always so much to learn, so much to grow with, but we can all keep going in small ways. So if you can spot a bottleneck and fix it, that's your tip of the day. That's the third way you can do invisible work. And actually streamlining a process is the best way to ask for a promotion. If you can reduce costs, if you can increase efficiency, you're a valuable asset for the company to have. You're clearly spotting business improvements that can be happening, and all businesses love it, and all the business owners love it as well. So if you're a developer with that skill, and every skill can be learned and it can be developed, so you can definitely do it. This is my favorite of all the invisible work you can do, and it's something I'm trying to actively get good at. So comment down below what you're improving and what you're learning. The fourth thing that comes under invisible work is actually cross collaboration and cross functioning with teams. As a developer, I thought I'd be behind a screen coding away for days, but it's far from the truth, and I came to quickly accept and quickly adapt that I'll be working with non-technical people who don't understand technical terms. They don't care what a data structure is, they don't care what algorithms are, and they're not in the slightest bit interested about learning about it, and it's completely fine. It's not part of their job scope. But you have to be able to translate technical knowledge into actual business world work and be able to communicate with that, and you need to have empathy for the people you're working with. This kind of invisible work is the best, because I actually read a statistic on this that said that the skills that companies are looking for are business acumen and impact beyond the technical daily role that you have. And it helps you get that promotion faster. Not only because your impact is not limited to your Jira board. It's not the codes that you're shipping out. It's not the little buttons that you're putting out. But because you're able to communicate with other teams, you have these skills to interact with other people. The business will want you involved in more projects. Your understanding is greater and your influence is greater as well. You have more influence on the other teams that you're working with, the systems that you're working with. If I'm taking ownership of a project that I'm working end to end on, I know who it's impacting, how it's going to impact them. If it breaks, what will happen as a result of that? What things I need to put in place to make sure this runs as smoothly as I can. And if I'm talking to the actual teams who are going to use that product, am I not going to know what could break down, what impacts it will have way better and way clearer? And by knowing all of this as well, it increases my empathy, number one, as a developer, but also it makes the team aware that I'm actually building something that they should use and it's tailored to them. It makes people want to work with you. And I'm all about being someone that other people want to work with as well as creating a place that other people are happy to work in as well. So we want to make as many things close to the user needs as possible. Many of the systems that people build are internal. You might be on the customer team and you might work with things that customers are building. In that case, try and get customer feedback. Try and see if you can get fake customers or your team members to test it out for you and get feedback from them. Be in the position of the people who are going to use the code you're writing for. It's going to increase your influence and increase your impact within the organization. And this kind of impact that you have where you're connecting teams, you're connecting the business managers with the engineers or the business analysts and the product analysts, all of these people, when they're connected, that's when the product that's the closest to the initial requirements is created. And I think when I started sitting down with people who were actually going to use my systems, not just me as an engineer who was going to use my own code, but when I started sitting down with those people, my code just improved 10 times. Firstly, I wasn't a victim of writing 200 lines of code, but ever since I started sitting with these people, I was able to make my code smoother, keep it simple and ship out products faster. Iteration over perfect code any day for me. And that's what I advocate for as well. We just want to be creating simple products that do the job and improve them over time and add additional functionality over time. And the best way to do this is collaborate with people, talk to them. And so if you've collaborated with a team, then comment down below who you've collaborated with. If you haven't, then that's your mission for this week. Make sure you collaborate with someone who's going to use your system and see what you can get out of it and see if you write better code as a result of that. The fifth and final thing of the invisible work that you can be doing is actually having visibility and a growth mindset. The way you have visibility is to share the work that you're doing with other people on your team. My team has recently started doing this when we got some new senior engineers, and they actually just create a Teams meeting for like 15 or 30 minutes, although it only goes on for like 10 minutes, where they're sharing the work that they're working on. They normally get given the bigger projects that they're working on from end to end. And as a junior, sometimes just reading their tickets is not enough. I cannot understand what they're working on, how it's going to impact the business. So those kind of things, they build visibility, not only for the developer, but for me as a junior, is creating knowledge, is creating this internal code base in my head where I'm like, oh, someone's worked on this project in this repository, so I can refer to them when I'm working on a similar thing. And it creates this endless cycle of learning, and everyone has a growth mindset. As a junior, how I track my growth is through a growth journal. I'm going to have a full video on this because everyone seems to love talking about a growth journal, how they can track their own growth. But the concept here is that you're going to track what you've learned, what ticket you've worked on, what didn't work. And things like Obsidian and Notion are the best for this because you can refer to and search within your notes. And I can always refer back to the tickets that I'm working on. This keeps me accountable for growing 1% every day. I try to write down one sentence of some sort of what I've learned. It keeps me accountable to my growth and not feel like I'm just burning out and I'm in like an endless rut working on the same ticket. Even if I am on the same ticket for multiple weeks, I try to write down one thing that I'm improving on or working with every single day. And when you have this visibility within the team and you're holding these meetings, sharing your work, even in your stand-up, you're openly and clearly communicating what you're learning. It creates this visibility for your manager as well to be like, this person has been working very hard. They've been improving. And statistics show that up to 11% of people who are continuously growing and upskilling get a promotion faster. And aren't we all here at the end of the day to keep improving ourselves? Personal growth will reflect in organization growth as well. And so constantly upskilling will keep you improving as a developer and it will get you that promotion faster. Invisible work is what improves you inside out. Whether it's just you're looking for a higher job role or whether you're just looking to improve as an engineer, if you're on a junior level, invisible work is what gets you going. And I think technical skills may have a cap to them, but soft skills never. You can always get better at communicating and you can improve for the rest of your life. And just doing that, having a growth journal and tracking your growth every single day will hold you accountable to 0.5. Now for some actionable steps, because we're all about taking action and not just knowing the theory. If you're actually looking to do the invisible work, the best way is to just start. Be the first one in your team to hold that meeting to say what you're working on. In your stand-ups, make it clear what you're working on and be interested. Ask questions about what other people are doing. And the third one, keep a growth journal. And I really want every single engineer to have a growth journal. I wish I could look at everyone's, but it's a personal thing. You don't need to show it to anyone, but just for your sake, have a growth journal tracking what you've learned, what you're developing and what you're working on and getting challenged by as well. It's the invisible work. And the best thing you can do is share and document the things you're learning technically within the organization. Everyone can refer to it and everyone can ask for help. Maybe you can leave a little note at the end, like if you don't understand anything in this documentation, message me on Teams, I'll help you out. And that's the best way to connect with other people as well. And you're going to use these little pockets of opportunity, like your stand-up, like your one-to-one where you're asking for feedback. You'll be able to grow and learn slowly, and all this growth will compound. As long as you make doing the invisible work a habit, you are going to see the growth sooner or later. Invisible work is never really spoken about in uni or anywhere. No one really points it out that you have to have all these soft skills. But from my experience, these soft skills are what is going to push you forward. And especially in 2025, where AI is writing most of our code, and that's just a fact. Many engineers are using ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, organizations are paying for it. Anyone can write code, but writing code that has a purpose, that will impact people, that isn't over-engineered to the point of looking like AI. You want it to be purposeful. You want to bring together an organization and make sure your code is going to be used and not just scrapped in the future because it was written by a machine. That's where all this invisible work will help promote you and future-proof your career as well. So if you have any soft skills that you've been working on or soft skills that you want to work on, I have a whole video on explaining which soft skills are the best for engineers, so you can check that out. And for any soft skills that you're developing currently or you think are more important, comment them down below and I'll be sure to have a look at them and see if I can practice them myself. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.